I think musicians in 2020 are incredibly jaded, and I would say that of myself as well. Right now, we are living in a time where it is easier than any other point in human history to take something in here, put it out there, and make it tangible to the world within minutes. The power of the internet and the distribution tools that we have right now as producers, as musicians, as artists of any kind is at a level that it has never reached previously in time, and I cannot stress enough how jaded we are by it. Jaded is defined as tired, bored, or lacking enthusiasm, typically after having had too much of something. And basically what we have too much of right now is access and power. I feel like a lot of musicians get so wrapped up in the numbers and the marketing of it all that they almost step away from making music and fall more into line with being like literally in marketing or advertising or just statistics, something like that. We have just dehumanized everything, and that includes our art and our value as artists and musicians, performers, whatever, because now I think people are just so tied up in it, and it's not a bad thing necessarily, but I think the more that you're in touch with the times and the people, the less touch you are in like with yourself as an artist or as a creator. You get so like stuck on metrics and hitting a lot of views or getting a lot of upvotes or anything like that. You know, you think about just the numbers blowing up, the virality of it, if it can go viral, if it can be a hit, if you can get the max amount of fans as possible, which is great. And like as someone who does music full time, obviously the business is huge, but I think the business just kind of consumes people. Like the musicians are like the ghosts, and the business is like Pac-Man, and it just comes and gobbles them up. It kind of throws you into a new realm that you didn't necessarily anticipate you'd ever get to, where you have to look at something you love as just some cold hard numbers, and people are just so drawn into it. I think that some musicians I know who I really love and adore and respect have almost been devoured by it too. It's like I feel like they're having more fun or more turned on by the idea of making like a good advertisement or a good meme to coincide with their show than they actually are about playing the show itself. And it's just weird to see how you kind of walk away from your identity. Business just kind of really entwines itself in everything, which is amazing because it makes making a career out of something like music super easy. But on that exact same token, it just completely changes your perception, and you see how people are so easily wrapped up in it. You could put a song out there right now, and 10 people could hear it within like an hour of you writing it, recording it, and putting it out there if you really wanted to. Now this is ridiculous to think about, because years and years ago you wrote a song and the likelihood of that many people hearing it that quickly literally was moot. It wouldn't make any fucking sense. It was not possible. It was impossible. In the last 30 years alone, music technology that used to be like industry secret standard is now just available to the common person. You pay like $70 for a decent digital audio workstation. You pay another $70 for a decent interface. You're not going to make like, $1 million recordings, but you have the power to create and put something here so quickly, so simply. The video I'm making right now, there's almost nothing to it. It's just a couple purchases of some decent equipment, halfway decent equipment, and you're good to go. You can really rock and roll, and you can get it out there into the world so quickly. But people are just so hung up on pulling big numbers and getting huge and having, the best photographs and the best videography, which is true for a brand. It is important, and I thrive to have good quality content as well. But you can't get so lost in it that you lose touch with what the fuck you were even doing in the first place, and being so thankful that you have the power to just take something that you create or take your interpretation of something through a cover, anything you want to do, you can put it out there, and people look at 120 views on something like it ain't shit, because compared to big numbers it isn't. But the fact that within just a couple hours of creating something already almost a half of 1,000 people have been able to see it, that's fucking nuts when you think about it. And people don't give a shit. Just the ability to have it there is impressive. Same with anything you write, like a status, a simple passing thought. The fact that you have a reaction to just some random shit that runs through your head during the day, that's crazy. And I mean, we're probably too public about ourselves at this point. There is no fucking privacy anymore. but it all applies to music. And I think that people, myself included, get so caught up in the arbitrary things that we forget just how fucking powerful the tools are and how easy it is to get something from the core of your head out into a viewing public almost instantly. It's fucking crazy, and we ought to be happy that we have the power, especially in 2020, a year that is synonymous with depression and just, there's so much to be upset about right now, and so many ways you can feel cornered or not feel so free, but at the same time you have the most freedom of expression that you've probably ever had access to, and it's easy. Even when you're shut away from the world, you still have the power to throw it out there, and it's just fucking insane. And I hope that everyone starts to kind of wake up and realize, holy shit, this is a powerful tool. Even if we're only pulling modest numbers, dude, it's insane. You shouldn't be bothered because it's just fucking nuts. The concept of it is crazy. You go back to 1950 and you tell anybody, hey, this song is gonna be in 25 years before you walk out of the studio, basically, and people would be like, bullshit, it's impossible. And it just really was. This is nuts. We have so much to be glad for, and I hope that everybody can take this as kind of inspiration to realize the power and the capability you have pretty inexpensively, and with a low learning curve. You can make anything you want. Anyone can do it. Anyone, anywhere. We can do it, man. Holy shit.